Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and the Season 2 patch notes are now upon us. So what does that mean? Well, we got a lot of system level changes. So there is no balance changes right now. Perhaps there will be balance changes in the future. In fact, I guarantee you there will be balance changes in the future. But right now this is all system level stuff. This will affect how the game is played, and some of it will affect characters, but right now this is all just core system level stuff. So without any further ado, let's just go through what we have. Right now, there's no official English translation, so we are going off Japanese translated notes, but I can't imagine there's going to be too much confusion going on here. And the very first thing we have is Recoverable Life. So one of the things they said is they want to make games go faster, and this is basically a change directly affecting that, as Recoverable Life, after taking damage, has been decreased, meaning your blue life, you're going to have less of it. So you tag out, you're just going to have less blue life to gain. This will not be changed, however, for Invincible moves. So DP, Wake Up level 3, all the damage is still going to be all blue life. So that's not going to change, but overall, we're all going to have a lot less blue life to work with. Next up here, your key gauge, that is your super meter. So when you're being hit by a level 1 or a level 3 super, you will now gain less meter. The defender, the person being hit, will be gaining less meter than they usually do. However, across the board, outside of supers, you will now be gaining more meter when you get hit. So any stray stand heavy, any stray jab, any stray whatever, you will gain more overall meter. Now, also speaking on meter, so after using meter, so you, the person using meter, it will now, after a short bit, be temporarily harder to gain meter than right after you use it. So if you use meter, then you hit the guy right again away, it's going to be harder to gain bar. And where this is directly applicable is Gotenks, Oki, and the Hellzone snapback stuff. So you can spend your bar, but if you do manage to get that stray hit and get your combo afterwards, you're not just going to get all your bar back right away. Because that was one of the problems, is they're basically infinitely self-sustaining. So at the very least, that will help curb that a little bit. Another one that's very important to the meta, Invincible special moves can no longer call assists or switch out characters unless you got the hit on that Invincible move. Meaning, as you guys well know, I'm sure by now, Adult Gohan and Yamcha are a very popular pairing, and if you're not aware, the Yamcha assist basically lets Gohan Dragon Punch for free with zero consequence. Like, you literally can't punch him because of the block stun, right? So now that is now Gonzo, everything is just out of here. So no more free guaranteed wake-ups for Gohan if he has the Yamcha assist. Now, taking a note from another Arc System Works games, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, if you hit an opponent with an EX special move, they will now have less recoverable life. So the value of using an EX move in a combo is now gone up a little bit, as they'll have less recoverable life than normal. And especially if you manage to use it in neutral, then it'll just basically kind of negate their blue life entirely if it's anything like Cross Tag Battle. Now here's a fairly big change. So for supers, so a lot of characters, a lot of teams in this game are all about like setting up, the double super, or in the case of Bardock, a triple super. So now whenever you are hit with a super in a combo, after the first super, this is excluding tag supers, Z-Change, DHE, all that kind of stuff, right? So say you are Bardock, right? You just did your, you got DHC'd in, you did your level 1, then assist is holding him or whatever's happening. Then you do another level 1, the damage will be reduced. So if the same character is doing more damage after the initial super, without it being like a tag super, Z-Change, whatever, that damage will be reduced, excluding a couple supers. They don't say which, though. Also, it says here, it is now easier to connect with Ultimate Z-Change and DHC. I'm not quite sure what that means, honestly. They don't really give any context for that. But yeah, so that definitely changes a lot of things. So the only thing to guess at this point, once again, since we don't have English patch notes, is does it include, like, a lot of times it's just super in the super, right? But certain characters like Bardock or Android 16 can actually do a special move first and then do the super. So will it affect that damage, or is it just the supers? That, I guess, we don't know just yet. Also, speaking on super, so level 3 moves, they're called meteor moves and officially, but everyone else calls them level 3s. So the lowest ceiling of guaranteed damage is being increased. Basically, all level 3s, including all level 1s, they all have a minimum amount of damage they can do. So it seems to be the case that a lot of level 3s are going to have their minimum damages raised. Don't really know the exact numbers yet. given, you know, they don't explain them. But still, so the lowest ceiling of guaranteed damage has been increased. So a lot of supers, let's say Beerus. I think Beerus' level 3 minimum, if I recall, is 1680, 1680 damage. So that would be increased to whatever it happens to be, making level 3 enders a lot more, you know, valuable at the end of a combo. Now here's a massive one. This is a game changer. So Sparking Blast can now be used while you're blocking, including in the air. So while you're blocking, you can burst out whenever you want. You don't have to wake up then burst. You can burst whenever you want, as long as you're getting hit, not getting directly comboed now, basically. So one, this is a direct nerf to the snapback meta, because now you can like successfully block on the way down, then spark and get people off you. Yeah, so you can also say Gotenks. You block the first hit of the Gosoki, Gotenks homing dashes in, you block it, and then you can get them off you, right? So yeah, this is a pretty big deal. Also, while in sparking, the recoverable life your opponent has after taking damage has been reduced. So when you hit them, when you're in sparking, then they will also gain even less blue life on top of the nerf to blue life in general, right? So that also helps the comeback mechanic they were talking about before. Once again, this doesn't apply to invincible moves though. So it says here Sparking has a slower startup except when cancelled from an attack. So it won't mess up your like Sparking combos. But if you're just doing it raw, it might be a little more dangerous to do like raw and neutral apparently. But yeah, overall, especially considering, you know, how things have been going, especially if you watch the Dragon Ball FighterZ World Tour Finals, this is definitely a good change for the game, to say the least. A small but important change affecting, I think, not many people know about, but Z Reflect. So after you deflect an attack, you are now invincible to opponent's sparking activation. So if you were not aware, like stuff like you're knocked on the ground, Piccolo Hell Zones you, right? Well, I can just wake up and deflect, right? Yes, you can. However, if you wake up and deflect, you're guaranteed to get hit by a spark into a combo if he calls an assist. Meaning, if you're low health and you deflect it, you just killed yourself. Not many people use these kind of setups. They're kind of rare, but still it was a thing where the opponent could put you in a guaranteed kill setup for doing the quote-unquote right thing. So that no longer works now. Throws and Dragon Rushes will no longer be able to connect several times in one combo. This one makes me kind of really sad, as it directly affects how I play. It's basically a direct nerf to Broly. I know it's not an intentional nerf to Broly, but Broly has a lot of combo structures where he gets 2 Dragon Rushes in one combo, and it's kind of a big deal for him. It's one of the few things that like you can put in the positive checkmark column versus the negative checkmark column for Broly. So yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. Maybe it'll be different because one of the main reasons it works for Broly is because it's off his level 3 and it kind of gives him a Dragon Rush property. Even if you already use one, you can do it again. But as it stands, if it's the way it's written, that is definitely nerf to Broly. That's personal bias. I'm sorry to inject personal bias into the patch note video, but bums me out a little bit. But still, that is what it is. Dragon Rush. So Dragon Rush, on hit, the meter gain and damage has been decreased. So Dragon Rush gives you an absurd amount of meter, so the damage, it's not the biggest build to me, but apparently that's going down. But yeah, the meter gain is really big, so that's going down. Also, it says here, as it's written here, after doing the combo, no more camera shifting moves will be possible. I'm assuming this means your smash attack. So if you have not already used it in your smash attack in a combo, be it like you're down heavy in the air or whatever, that's going to be used up. Airborne Dragon Rushes. After using it in the combo, this is airborne version, the final hit will cause a slide down of the opponent. So if you don't snap them back, normally they get like just air attack and all that kind of stuff, right? So now I guess it's a sliding knockdown. Now here's another big change. The guard cancel. I've been very vocal over basically the whole year the game's been out now that guard cancel kind of stinks and needs to be better. And hey, it's going to be better. So will now be invincible until it hits your opponent or is very close to them. Recovery on block increase. So it will be more punishable on block. That's great, fine. But now it works the way it is, in my opinion, initially intended to work, in that when you have brain dead offense where you know exactly where all the holes are going to be, you can now hit people out of it. Because I know, you know, how many times you, the viewer at home, you call something out, you guard cancel, and you get smacked and you get full comboed anyways. Not a good feeling, and you wasted a bar for the privilege. So it'll work better the way it's supposed to, and will now be a much better get off me against brain dead offense. So fantastic, love it. Your backdash on the ground, the distance seems to be improved across the board for all characters. Fantastic, I love it. This is one of my biggest strengths and weaknesses personally as a player. Doing a lot of Rose in Street Fighter 4 over the years and a lot of Kano in Mortal Kombat X taught me to backdash a lot. And in this game, it's kind of it gets me killed a lot, to be honest with you. When it works, it's amazing, and I look like a genius, but sometimes it don't work so good. So, hey, better backdash. Me, personally, 2 thumbs up. Love it. We also have a couple changes to the dragon now. It's something I never actually thought I would see happen, but so when he revives a teammate, they'll have more health, and when you say make me invincible, the rate that your health recovers at is also increased. So, hey, if you're the kind of guy who really pays attention to the dragon summon during a match, this is basically a direct buff to you. For our final set of changes here, so dramatic finishes, you know, the big cinematic stuff here, also can now be triggered by Vanish. Usually you trigger them with Stand Heavy, so it's another way to get them. That's great. The final bit here on the text, I got 2 different translations for this here. Not really sure the exact wording. It just doesn't make it very clear. I'm sorry to say. Once again, we do not have proper English patch notes. So the first translation here, for grounded wake-ups here, you can now do a Kemi. Kemi is your wake-up. Any point until your opponent's completely lying down. So as it's written, that means you can not get past sliding knockdowns. I'm not sure. Like, once again, this is not very clear. So the other translation I have here, for delay text before the character's fully knocked down on the ground, you can activate all sorts of other ground tech. But I'm not sure what they mean by constituting fully knocked down on the ground. So yeah, this one's maybe a wait and see on how that one turns out. Also, it says here, for quick rise Kemi, more difficult to get hit by airborne opponents. On the other translation says here, ground tech will not be pushed as much by the airborne opponent. So a little contradictory on the writing. Once again, this is kind of the issue with having translated patch notes. Wish we had English ones day and date with the Japanese ones. That's all I can really say about that. So there you have it. That's all the translated patch notes as they currently stand. So once again, nothing character-wise, although it does obviously affect some characters. But they said they're going to shake up things, you know, make gameplay a little faster, like the removing of the blue health change, less blue health to work around with. Snapback being a lot stronger and stopping blue health recovery too. These things, hey, they work. They will speed up the game a bit. Maybe not a lot, but a bit to be sure. And a lot of the other changes, for the most part, I agree with all these changes. As they currently stand, they don't completely destroy certain setups that have become very popular lately, but they definitely bring them in line a lot more. And with the sparking change, it basically makes the defender a lot less helpless in that regard. So you have another chance to kind of make your big go and go for that. So overall, I gotta say, hey, I'm a fan. We don't have any character-specific stuff. I guess Jiren and Videl, they'll be coming out soon enough. But for now, that's everything, and that's it. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball Season 2.